How much is Jesus?
You gonna always see me smiling. I'm gonna show you what real restoration looks like. Hey, welcome back to the BlaCc Iz Jesus show. This week we got my brother and co-host who show up to work whenever you feel like it, Messiah, Fluker, or you call him Freedom the Poet. and we got Denonica back in the building, who at this point might as well be the other co-host. we can negotiate it.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Oh, for sure. For sure. All right, this week we're going to talk about if you see a woman being beat in public, did you actually intervene? Now, if y'all remember from the Denonica Davis story, she had a situation to where she was being beat in public and nobody came in to intervene. Now, can you recap for the people like how you felt in the moment?
I was shocked, and you know what? I kind of felt defeated a little bit. It was like if nobody else, out here, none of the men, none of the security, nobody that's out here standing outside this club is doing anything about it or saying anything about it. What can you do? What can I do?
Yeah. All right. So we got somebody that's been on the other side of that though. So we got somebody on the show who did intervene. So Messiah, can you walk us through your experience when you was the person that actually did intervene? So just give us a story from beginning to end.
So I intervened a few times, but the most notable. Huh?
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna give you this most notable time. I was doing security at this club out in Parma Heights, of all places, and it was a cool night. It was a guy. He kept coming next to me in the club, and he just like, man, you a cool security guard and all this and that. And I'm like, I'm saying, I'm a cool brother. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So we go outside. After the club let out, we cleared out the parking lot. Somebody was in the back shooting, and don't start with me. Somebody was in the back shooting, and police was back there. I don't need to intervene with no shots. They can handle that. So I'm walking through the parking lot, and I see these girls about to fight, and I'm telling them like, no, I don't fight. Y'all in Parma Heights, we black. They gonna put y'all up under the jail, right? And when I get to the car that they walk into, it's a dude in the back seat on the passenger side. And the girl who ends up being his baby mama, she was in the driver's seat. So if you can picture that, you can picture the leverage he got when he just was leaning over the seat. I'm talking about, can I cuss on here? He was punching the shit out of her.
Yeah, nigga,
I'm talking shit. He was punching he was punching the fuck out of her. I'm talking about he was boom, boom. I'm like, damn. That's what I'm telling you, like, I'm tapping like right on his side and trying to put him out. Like, I'm like, bro, chill. And that was my line when I was out there. I'm like, bro, you in Parma. Like, they not about to play with you out here. Chill, bro. And I'm just trying to get him to stop. His sister jumping on my back. I'm pushing her off of me. She talking about, she intervened. She telling me, get off my brother. Don't touch my brother. Don't touch my brother. I'm like, you don't see your brother whooping your people?
Wow.
I'm like, you don't see your brother whooping your people ass right now? So she kept jumping on me. Last time she jumped on me, she kind of like wrapped her arms around my neck. Now listen, you ain't gonna just choke me out. Ain't no little 100-pound girl gonna choke me out. So, I kind of slung her off of me like, look, and I grabbed her. I'm like, look, stop fucking jumping on me. And I went to pull the dude out again, and I could have got down in the car with him, but I ain't getting down in the car with nobody because I ain't about to drive off of me. So I'm pulling him at the hips, and I'm like, bro, chill. And this time he getting out, and I'm thinking I got through to him. You know what I mean? And he turned, and he put his gun right in my face. I'm talking about we was close, and I'm like, damn. And he was like, nigga, I'll pop you. I'm like, damn, I ain't even do nothing to him. You know what I'm saying? And right when you know what a nigga instinct is to do, like when somebody put a gun in your face, you duck. So as soon as I ducked, he blew that bitch. Blah! Right? And so that's what made it miss me. So luckily they was in a little 1988 Honda. I don't know what year it was, but it was a little Honda or something. And I was able to get in front of the car and run a few car spaces down. Now, another lucky point is that he was one of them, he wasn't really a shooter for real. You could tell because he wanted them back up and I'm gonna throw the bullets at you type niggas. You know what I'm saying? So he backing up and he doing that. And all I remember was praying in my head, like, man, God, just don't let me get hit in my head. You know what I'm saying? I had a vest on. I'm like, don't let me get hit in my head. I'm like, let me get hit anywhere else and I can die later. You know what I'm saying? Like, my fear is to be laid out in the parking lot. So I ain't want to be laid out in no parking lot. I'm like, shit, I could die later. Man, he fucked around and let me get behind another car. And I bucked his ass though. I hit him from across the parking lot. I put one through. Yeah, I put one. Fuck him. I put one through his belly button. He dropped instantly. The fucked up day for him was, I was working security, so he ended up he was temporarily paralyzed for a minute, but shit, they ended up giving him like 7 years for attempted murder. And listen, and doing that, hold on, let me tell you this. And doing that and shooting at me, he shot his own car up that he was in, and his sister had a girlfriend that was in the front seat of the car. He shot her in the neck. So she had a bullet in the neck. So here I am now. I'm over there putting gauze and shit on her neck, trying to stop her from bleeding out. She survived. And it kind of made me sorry though, because they ended up whatever. But yeah, so it was a fucked up day for him because he ended up getting jail time for shooting at me and getting shot. I told the prosecutors, like, man, look, y'all do what y'all want with him because I got my karma already. So, you know. But yeah.
Okay, now, I remember you telling me something about now what the girl he was whooping on. Now, what was she on the internet talking about?
Oh, yeah, and the shit crazy because she on the internet talking about free her nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, do this now. I'm like, you talking about free buddy? He was just like he was knocking your bells loose. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking about and the way he was doing it, that wasn't the first time. You feel me? You could tell he was just too comfortable with doing it. He ain't had no remorse about it or nothing. You know what I mean? And matter of fact, I don't know what their relationship status was because they was both in the club, like trying to make each other mad. You know, he probably popped at me because she walked past me and grabbed my arm like, I love a man in uniform. And I'm sitting there and I was just like, and then like at first I was looking, she wasn't cute anyway. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and I'm looking like, what? And then he was like, babe, he was standing right next to me. He was like, babe, for real? And when he said that, I wasn't on no other shit. When he said that, you know, I was being goofy. I was like, unhand me, woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm being goofy and shit. Like, you know, I ain't on that type of time.
He ain't find it funny.
And she ain't even.
He ain't find it funny at all.
Man, listen, that was on. That's probably why he was beating her ass outside. But and then he probably was like, you know, I'm beating your ass because of this. And then out of all the niggas to come try to stop me is this nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's you,
right? All right.
But either way, it was like it's one of them things where it was like. I mean, I was just security in the parking lot, bro. I could have kept it pushing. I could have went back there like, hey, y'all need to go handle Buddy up here because he beating this girl ass. But at the same time, it was one of them things where it's like, how do I, you know what I'm saying, as a man, walk past this situation where he punching the fuck out of her across her seat, you know what I'm saying? Or like he just beating her ass period. Like, how do I as a man just stand by and watch that? You know what I mean?
All right, well, let me ask you this question then. So now you just did that and you almost lost your life, almost got your top blew off doing this. If it was to happen again today, would you do the same thing?
I would. I mean, if I sure. with the knowledge that I got now, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, when you're dealing with domestics. See, the thing is, like, a dude like getting into it. You know how like you see dudes like they get into it with a girl and lying about some shit or something like that. That's one thing. But when it's a domestic, it's a whole nother level of emotions and shit that they got involved.
Passion.
Like like he beating her ass and like and I mean this shit. And then when it's like if you try to intervene, it's like, nigga, how you gonna stop me? And you know, cause some dudes got this mindset, how you gonna stop me from beating on my shit? You know what I'm saying? But it's like as a man, bro. Huh?
Oh yeah, they gonna look at the woman as property. Like this is mine. Like how you gonna get in the middle with this? Like
yeah. But at the same time, it's like when you got people like me that's looking at it. I'm like, man, listen. All I see, and you know what I'm talking about. All I see when I see something like that is like, damn, mommy and magic. You feel me? Mommy and whoever.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, yeah, because when you gotta grow up and you seeing now being beat. Like Magic might be the one that got over on her the most. Let's just make that disclaimer. Hey, Mama used to be whooping their ass too.
No. She done whooped her. She a bad motherfucker. She done whooped her first share ass. Yeah, you right.
But it's the fact that motherfuckers was trying. You feel me?
Yeah, they were trying. Okay. Let's switch gears a little bit. So you said that you would do the same thing. You would actually intervene, but. I don't think it's always that cut and dry. Because, like, think about this, right? Like, because when it first happened, I ain't gonna lie, I was mad at the motherfucker. I'm like, man, my brother just almost got killed about this. Like, I'm sitting here, like, and, you know, when they led, they was like, Michelle almost just got shot in the head. Like, that's how they opened up the story. So, and I'm sitting there, and then when I figure out, like, what's for, and I'm sitting there like, man, like, we could have lost you. We could have lost you, and old girls still on the internet talking about some free to do. So I'm sitting there like, man, was this worth my brother's life? Like, was it worth you not being able to go home to your kids for some shit they probably do every Friday night? Like you said, it wasn't even their first time. So like, I understand like your gut feeling is like, okay, anytime this happens, you gonna jump in, you gonna intervene, because my gut feeling would be the same. But and that sounds cool in theory. But the application shit could go wrong. So, like,
could I throw two more perspectives at y'all as far as that? So say on the victim side of it, okay. You don't ask people to intervene. You don't ask people to help. You don't ask your dad. You don't ask your brother. You don't ask your cousin. You don't say nothing to nobody. You don't ask anybody to intervene.
Or if I'm your brother, call me.
But listen. Sometimes if you know you're dealing with somebody that's abusive and they show you like the craziest side of they self, or you know, whatever the case is, and you get it in your mind that you're scared of this person or you have a fear of this person for whatever the reason is. And say for example, okay, you do have maybe you don't have no family members, no male family members, no friends, nobody who can stick up for you, or you do, whether either or. But you don't ask other people. You don't ask other people to intervene because you feel like this person is a danger, and you don't want to have other people injured. You don't want other people to be brought into your situation because you know you're not going to leave this person. Or, okay, looking on the other point, the other perspective, the other point of it. Okay, not just being an innocent bystander. Again, maybe you being a family member to whoever this person is, and you find out that this person is abusing the person that you love and that you care about. And you get involved in the situation and something ends up happening to you. You know what I mean? You got to think of like, these are other perspectives of people that are close to you being harmed, or that you're trying to avoid being harmed. So you don't ask for these resources. You don't ask for nobody to intervene. You don't say anything for intervention.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, no, I could definitely understand that. But but I feel like if when it's like your sister, when it's your cousin, when it's somebody, and you find out something like that, you putting up, you intervening for the most part.
Right.
What we was talking about was random people, like you going down the street, and you went on the street, or you somewhere, you out of the club, and like your situation, to where like your family members went around, but shit the community, should somebody from the community step up and intervene? Like that's what we talking about. And like I said, in theory, it should always be yes. But in application, sometimes things could go wrong. Like I said, Messiah almost being killed behind it. Like some people may think like it's not worth risking their life for it.
So let me say this.
Or
let me say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think that it should always be, and when I say some sort of intervention, now in a perfect world, every nigga in the parking lot then came to help her. You feel me? And dude, hey, look, in a perfect world, but that's not gonna happen. Cause some dudes be like, shit, you know what I'm saying? I just, hey, that's his business. That's his, you know what I'm saying? That's their business, and they got that, ideology. Like, look, but when I say like, you should always take an action, even if the action is not, oh, I'm about to jump straight into it. You feel me? You go find somebody whose job it is to jump into that shit. You feel
right?
Me?
Exactly.
And I know we live in a society where it's like, you know, I ain't trying to go get no police or security, or I ain't trying to call the police on nobody. I ain't that type of nigga. Whatever the new school definition of snitching is, because they all out of whack with that shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. You should always take an action. So even if your action is like, look, I ain't about to jump in that shit, because dude, you know, it might even be something like, look, man, dude look like he about 260, 6'5", you know what I'm saying, all muscle. And I'm you feel me? I'm 150 and 5'7". I ain't jumping in that shit. You feel me? But to take an action is not always to get physical. You feel me? Sometimes you gotta be like, hey, this girl over here needs fucking help. You feel me? Or I gotta jump. I'm just gonna jump on horn like, hey man, y'all gonna send somebody over here, man, because this girl, she gonna fucking die. I feel like shit if I go home and I just looked at it and I didn't do nothing. Like, damn, I ain't even try to call nobody. I ain't trying to do nothing. You feel me? And then now you see it on the news and you're like, damn.
Well, take it to the next level. What if you're approaching a situation where that person is armed? Maybe you don't know that person is armed, but you approach a situation to intervene, maybe because you feel like y'all equal, and you approach them and you realize in that instant or in that moment, just like your situation, you know, so now do you look at it in the same, is it still the same thing? Like, should people still put themselves in dangerous situations?
So the thing is, like, if it's me now, I'm approaching different though, because then I was just out there like, you know, we get kind of complacent at work and shit like that. It's like, bro, come on, chill, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get kind of complacent because the shit haven't happened before. I had a on my side. You feel me? But my approach to it would be different now. Like, I ain't gonna just, you know, run in like, yo, bro. No, fuck all that.
What I told you afterwards, like, man, stop going up to people talking. Like, if you gonna go do it, man, then do it. All that trying to be cool shit. If you gonna fuck, like, no, for real, if you gonna go over there, fuck him up. I was mad at you, bro, because when you was telling me the story, talking about something, I'm like, bro, chill. I'm like, man, fuck, man, you were supposed to tase him or pop him off the top. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, so my approach to it now would be way different. You feel me? Like, all that tapping and talking and saying, come on, and shit, that shit is out the window.
Yeah, because you can't reason with somebody that's in a state of mind like that, period. Like, that's number one, what you got to realize when you intervene in a domestic violence situation. When somebody in a rage like that, it's not no intervention. It's not no, you can't, it's nothing that you can't, it's not no talking. It really is just, you go straight into action. Yeah.
And another thing that we got trained on early in life was, sometimes these domestic situations, you also got to be weary of this. And like, and this is me now, like, with my mind fully, like, with it working now. You feel me? Like, I ain't just like running in thinking like, oh, I'm the security guard, so it's gonna be cool when I tell him to do some shit, because that shit, like, niggas don't respect security, the police, the president, nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you can we can forget about that. You know what I'm saying? But you also got to be wary of, you go over there and I might go over there and start whooping on dude, right? And next thing you know, you feel another set of hands hitting you. You like, man, who the fuck? He got some niggas here? Now she helping him beat your ass.
Hell yeah, I was about to say.
You know what I'm saying? And I tell you, you know what I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. That taught me early on, like, man, listen, sometimes And if you know the situation, sometimes you just be like, man. Now, I can't just sit around and watch you like whoop on my family member ass or just whoop nobody ass. Like, you know, because I go by the old ancient, there was a great prophet named Styles P, Panero the Ghost. He said, he said, if we do nothing, we are nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I stick by that. You gotta do something. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like,
That's what any aspect of life.
Here's my take. Hold on, go ahead, finish that.
I'm listening.
No, I'm about to say, here's my take. I gotta play devil's advocate. I gotta throw in like, what if this or what if that. But my actual true take is the same thing. Like you gotta always do something. And I feel like the best thing is, the most effective part would be like a group thing, like you said, if everybody in the parking lot. So if you see a woman being beat and you can get 3, 4, 5 people to come over there with you, a dude gonna think twice before he try to fight 4, 5 people, before he try to shoot 4 or 5 people. It's gonna be strength in that group. If you can get a group together. Yeah. And it depends on the level of domestic violence. Like if they sitting there slapping each other and cussing, and I can see it escalating. Like I don't give a fuck what nobody's saying. I pay taxes now. I'm gonna call 12. Like you know what? I'm gonna go and get on the phone. I'm gonna dial, and I'm gonna see what's going on. No, I pay
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I pay taxes. And now, if he fuck him now, they pull up and pop him. That one on me. I just did what I was supposed to do as a citizen. No, like I'll be mad if that happened. I'm like, damn, it's fucked up. But if it's too imminent, like she not like you got to think the 12 got to come in transit. They might be 10, 15, 20 minutes out. But if he's somewhere stumping her head in, like she's not gonna be able to take this for no 10, 15 minutes.
For sure.
So that's something to where you got to throw all that shit by the wayside, and you got to run over there. You got to tackle him. Like don't go over there talking, because you might go over there and he might turn around and whoop your ass too, or shoot you. So like you got to go over there straight into action. Like that's me, and I can live with that. But but take a person like me, I gotta think even extra hard being a felon. I gotta take extra precautions because the police pull up and I'm in an altercation. They run my name, and I could do 10 years for being a repeat violent offender. So I gotta also think about that. I gotta think about, because I'll be mad as fuck. I run over there, save a woman from being beat. I'm in the county jail. I know they're going to straighten all this out. Monday morning come, she bailing dude out. And she at my court date talking about I don't know what happened. Like, me and my boyfriend was just minding our business, and he came out of nowhere, and he and I, man, what? You know, but that's a possibility that could happen to me. You know, like what the freedom? What, like she could turn and like go to save her boyfriend, and I could end up being in prison, or the police could swear up and down like, okay, you know what, we might have been fighting over her, and I don't even know it. So I gotta look at that angle, being a felon, like before I just go head first jumping into something. But like I said, if it was imminent danger, like her head getting stumped in, that's gonna be the risk I'm gonna have to take. But if it's just like y'all pity patting and smacking, that ain't never killed nobody, I'm calling 12. Then that's my thing.
Yeah. No, that mutual shit. Because sometimes, and it's another point that I was about to talk about it the other day when we was on the phone and you cut me off. You told me I can't talk about shit that we can talk about on the show. But so the point where it's like, there are situations, like you were saying, like they smacking each other. There are situations that I've actually seen where females, you know, be a little aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Well, I didn't see them like hit dudes, and dudes be like, bitch, you better chill, you better stop. You know what I'm saying? And then it get to the point where he just like, we're like, when he finally like push her ass down or hit her with the back slap or something like that, and then everybody like, oh, you wrong. But it's like you had 5 girls with you, and all of them was, fuck that broke ass nigga, all this blah blah that. Nobody said, girl, that nigga 250 pounds, you better stop hitting that man. Or if you don't want a man to hit you back, you better stop hitting that man. You know what I'm saying? Nobody talks about.
I agree with that though.
About that portion of it. It's like, so even even to intervene is sometimes like nipping that shit in the bud before it happened. You feel me?
Yeah.
Or if you out with your homeboy and they chilling or they arguing and you see he getting a little too aggressive, you got to tell your homeboy like, hey, bro, nah.
Yeah,
I don't know what y'all do at home, bro, but not here, not with me, bro. You feel me? So like I'm breaking up a fight and all y'all friends standing around. Like what the fuck?
Right.
You feel me? Like I'm coming to stop. If anything, stop your homeboy from going to jail. Stop your homegirl from getting beat the fuck up or killed, or she could go to jail. You feel me? Because that's a side of it that we don't talk about either. Because I be seeing some girls whooping dudes' ass, and they be like, man, I love that girl, man, but she just, you know what I'm saying, she aggressive and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like at a certain point, we got to take accountability for the people that we actually know. If that's your homeboy, and you actually like, you know what I'm saying, this my nigga, we like, bro, yeah, stop that nigga from going to jail. Stop him from going to jail. You can
accountability, holding people accountable.
Yeah. You can get through to him better than I can get through to him. You know what I'm saying? You can tell your girl to chill, but well, you know what? I ain't gonna lie, man. Girls will fall out with their friends for trying to stop them. You on that nigga side, bitch? You better, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, if we start holding our friends accountable for that shit, then shit, even when I'm not around, you might think about what I said, like, bro, man, stop putting your hands on your girl, nigga. Like, we don't do that.
Right.
All of a sudden, me and you ain't kicking it no more because you ain't kicking it no more because you doing this, that, and the third towards your girl. And it's like, nigga, some people would think about that. Some niggas be like, man, that nigga just jealous of me and my relationship. But that don't be the case. It'd be like, bro, I can't stand around and watch you. You know what I'm saying? Like you beating the shit out of her every day. I can't stand around and watch that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What about women intervention? So what about a woman being beat in public and another woman coming to intervene, like Donatica? Like, would you feel safe, like jumping into a domestic dispute if you seen it on the streets?
I mean, personally, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to jump in a domestic dispute, and I'm only saying that simply because me being shot in my own domestic dispute, I wouldn't put myself in a position to do that in someone else's. 'Cause I'm a mother, you know what I'm saying? I got to make it home at the end of the day. But would I intervene in other ways? Absolutely. Like, would I call the police? Yes. Would I try to find other male or, someone else that could help, someone else that could intervene? Absolutely. But yeah, I personally don't think it's safe. I mean, if he's already being violent towards her, what's he going to do to me?
Yeah, for sure. A stranger.
You think if I give you my wife's number, you could call and tell her that shit? Because he be trying to hop in all the smoke. Like Minister Janae, like she be like chasing people down the street with umbrellas.
And listen, I give her more power to her. I really do. I appreciate that.
No, not more power to her. Call the police. Like, no,
call the police.
I don't want nobody. I was on the. Listen, I be on the phone. Out of breath, like screaming, like, cause like she's going down the street chasing somebody with an umbrella. I don't know if dude about to turn around and assault her. I don't know if he's gonna turn around and shoot her or anything. I don't know what's about to go on with my wife. So like, but it's just so dangerous. Like, it'd be crazy because I'd be torn because I'd be like, I respect it because it's like, damn, she being courageous. Like, she ain't going for none.
Right.
But on the flip side of it, I'd be scared. Like, man, what if that happen? Like, what if she gets shot? Like, I don't want to lose.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Yeah, I don't want to lose mine. Well, hold on. Y'all already know what time it is. I got to call back in. All right. So yeah, okay, Donatica, any more thoughts?
I do. I have 2 experiences myself. I remember seeing my mother actually intervene in some domestic disputes. So my mom had a really close friend, and I was young. I probably had to be about 4 years old, and the friend had a 4-year-old two at the time. And her baby father, I remember, like, she was pregnant at the time, but he was real abusive. And he came over one day. I don't know why I was a kid, but he came over one day and he started beating the shit out of her. And, my mother had already left an abusive relationship herself. So I don't know, something in her, something about this situation just ignited something in her. And she jumped on him and tried to help, tried to intervene. And he ended up breaking her nose. And I remember that. I vividly remember that. And it was another situation where somebody was doing something to a female in the club, and my mama just happened to catch it and see it and and jumped in. I mean, yeah, she put herself in danger, but yeah, I mean, I've seen it, and no, nothing ended up happening to her. Yeah, he punched her in the face, and I think the dude ended up punching her in the face too, but it wasn't too severe of an injury, but. And that's just my personal experience with seeing women intervene to help other women. So I used to have a different thought process about intervening, especially for myself. But I think now that I realize, like this is far past like, just getting beat up. I mean, these men are shooting women now. So it's like,
yeah, for sure.
That, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
So in my experience, like being in the clubs and everything, I've seen more, or just being outside, period, like I've seen more instances where women come to the defense of other women than I have seen a man jump in. Now, you see, like most times dudes will start from the sideline if they do get in, and it'd be like, come on, man, stop hitting that woman. No, Debo, that's a female type, you know what I'm saying? On some,
right.
Some Craig type shit. But women, it's like, I'm every woman. What's the new term they say? I'm a girl's girl.
Right.
And
well, let's not forget, before Craig jumped in, Debbie was the first to step in now.
That's right. Yeah, there you go. You feel me? Like,
yeah.
Women see that shit and I don't know if they start picturing themselves. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, but women will jump in quicker because it's like, man, stop putting your hands on that woman. And now you got 4 or 5 females on your ass, and you might can beat all their ass, but I'm gonna tell you, like, from breaking up fights and shit in the club, the people that fucked me up the most was women every trip. It ain't easy. It ain't an easy task when you got about 3 or 4 of them Jones scratching you and punching you. Like the punching, it ain't hard enough to knock me out, but that shit hurt, motherfucker. Like, real, like women definitely. I've definitely seen women come together more in terms of breaking up something.
Let me ask you this, Annika. So with that being said, like women being the first to jump to other women's defense, and the man who's supposed to be the kings or the protectors being the one that's reluctant, how does that make you look at us? Like how do you view, and we the ones that doing the most victimization of you? Like how does that make you look at us as a whole?
Well, I think right there, I mean, that just speaks for itself. The idealism of being abusive towards women, and the book that I told you to read, they do kind of point that out at one point in the book, that there's so many different compartments to people enabling this behavior, other men around them, men in the justice system who commit abuse towards their partners that let people get off of these things. Yeah. You know what I mean? What about the mother that doesn't say anything to her son that she knows is abusive or has had past abusive relationships? It really is. There's so many different people that allow it to happen because there's this unconscious ideal about how you should treat women or look at women or view women, the possession of women, the property of women. Yeah. It's a very distorted point of view of how you have a relationship and you interact with women. And so I think a lot of the times it's not even that men don't want to intervene or that men are scared to intervene. It's more of the fact that maybe they think he's right for what he's doing, or that, hey, that's not my business. He handling his business. Or, maybe she deserved that, because I always see that a lot too. Like you'll see a lot of like clickbait stuff you'll catch on Instagram where people will be, telling you about an abuse situation. You get a bunch of people people in the comments that's like, well, what did she do? Or, y'all remember when Chris Brown and Rihanna had their situation and, he literally beat the shit out of her. He beat the fuck out of her. She didn't beat the fuck out of him. He beat the fuck out of her. And everybody was like, well, what did she do to him? She gave him herpes. She did this. Why is it always what did she do? What is it that you can do as a woman that doesn't pose a threat to you, a physical threat or any harm to you by anything that she does, says, anything that she does in this world cannot harm you, but you choose to beat her or shoot her or choke her or stab her, or you know what I mean? There's no balance to that. There's nothing that she can do that can make sense for that level of handling a situation anyway.
Yeah. It ain't
what just happened? Is this Donica Davis or Angela Davis? Like what?
Yeah. But nothing that a woman does warrants that type of physical response. You can say this, like you said, D-Ray Davis made a joke about the Rihanna situation where he was like, she probably said something that cut him real deep. She was in the car like, that's why you can't dance. And he just spazzed out, right? But nothing that you say, nothing that you do, you feel me, warrants a person beating you physically. Because to say something, I hurt your feelings. To punch you, I could take your life. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Or, you punch a girl you punch anybody in the right spot. Let's say she walking away and you hit her in the back of the head or in the back of the neck. Now she paralyzed because you done hit one of those vertebrae that's up there. You know what I'm saying? It could be any. It's always a risk when you're doing it. And at the end of the day, it's like if a guy would even think about what's gonna happen next, his own consequences. And that's another thing. Another thing is the old school way that police used to handle that shit was that when you come to the house, I don't give a fuck what it was. If it's a domestic, take the guy to jail. And so, when we think that shit is set up, you know what I'm saying, against us, we tend to rebel against it. So now it's like, man, they over there fighting. You feel me? I ain't calling the police because I don't know what she did. And I know when they come, they going to take him to jail. We bros, we got to stick to you. Fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck that shit. Whatever she did, bruh, that shit ain't that serious that you had to beat the fuck out of her. Now we gotta account for, there are times where it's like a motherfucker have that, that mental, that one split second you think your girl is the saint of the world and you out, and then you know what I'm saying, next thing you know, you find out that she done been bouncing up on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like bouncing up and down on somebody else. And in that moment, you be like, bitch, how could you? Boom. You know what I'm saying? It don't make it right, but it's like you got those moments where a person have a split mental lapse in judgment and they do some dumbass shit.
Crime of passion.
Yeah, there's some
but it's a pattern and it's a problem.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Well, can I point something out to you really quick about when people talk about crime of passions or even using that as an instance, right? It's like nobody in this world is going to do something in reaction to something that they don't think is okay to do, or they don't think that other people aren't going to think that they're wrong for doing. So to be like, oh, well, I found out she was doing this and I was just so angry. Yeah, I mean, but everybody gets angry. Everybody don't get angry enough to shoot their partner. Everybody don't get angry. Your parent does something to you, don't get angry enough and punch your mama in her face. You know what I mean? So it's like we kind of got to get out of that mentality a little bit too, because your reaction is really 100% up to you. It doesn't matter what other people do. And
can nobody make you do nothing.
Right.
For sure. I'm just talking about like that instance where it's like, that, would you say, that crime of passion, and dude, like, it's his first time doing it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he do it every time he get mad, then we pass we passed that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like every time he get mad at
So you basically talking about like a Jody and Yvette moment. Basically.
yeah, he ain't never hit her before.
I don't think like that was that one Jody's MO. You know, but in that little moment.
Right.
Yeah. So
and then she got the best head of her life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm really sorry. Like, I ain't mean to do that shit. Like, you feel me? Like, damn, what the fuck did I just do? You feel me? And it's like,
I don't know how remorseful he was though, because then after that he took a car and dipped. So I don't know. We can't give Jody too much. We can't give Jody too much props.
But that was his MO though. Taking her car and dipping, he put rims on there. That was their car. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
but yeah, like, and then like for real, the way that, and then like even in those domestics, like the way the law's set up is that like sometimes I've seen females that don't want to get they dude locked up, but they just want him to leave. And then the police come. I'm just talking about how it is in Ohio and shit, right? I don't know about nowhere else. But then the police come, and it's squatters' rights here in Ohio, and the police come, and she be like, "Oh no, we ain't fight, we ain't do nothing physical. I just want him to leave." Well, how long he been living here? Well, he been here like a year, but he ain't on the lease. Well, unfortunately, we can't make him leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, unfortunately, they can't get made. They can't get forced out of the house because they got squatters' rights. You know what I'm saying? They took up residency there, so you can't even. It ain't even a case where like somebody can come and be like, "All right, bro, you gotta go. She wants you to leave. You gotta leave." So, and so then you gotta walk away and leave her in that same situation. You know what I'm saying? It ain't known at that moment that she getting her ass beat in that house or that he putting his hands on her. She don't want to put him in jail. I don't know what's up. What's up with that part of it too? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get like people don't want to get people locked up in the system, and I know it's a whole lot of fear. You know what I'm saying? And calling the police on somebody. I dealt with a woman one time who didn't want to call the police or didn't want to do nothing towards a guy because he paid all the bills, type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, sometimes it's financial.
Dependency. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like I'm sitting there telling the lady like, look, paying the bills don't mean that nobody get to beat on you. You know what I mean?
You know what I say from the perspective of a Black woman, you get caught between. This is the thing. Just because somebody's doing something harmful towards you doesn't mean you want to do something harmful towards them. Just because somebody is hurting you doesn't mean you want to hurt them, or it doesn't mean you wish bad on them. You know what I mean? So you get stuck between that line between you need to be accountable for what you're doing to me, but I also don't want you to be hurt. And then, you know, when you look at it from a perspective of a Black woman and you realize, you see how unjust the system is, and you know that there really is there's minimal rehabilitation, especially for domestic abusers. There's not really a lot of programs that are specifically dedicated for domestic violence. You know what I mean? So I think
no good ones anyway.
No good. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like
hold on. No. The Danielle Project is a damn good program. They need to let me expand it. Okay. So,
yeah. All right. But until that one, you know what I'm saying? When that one breaks out,
until that can reach all of the people that it needs to reach, you know, the resources are just not open for all of the other places or all of the or whatever the case is. It definitely needs to be more resources, but there really is bare minimum on the rehabilitation. And the thing about it too is, okay, you call the police on him, right? And he goes to jail. They come pick him up. He beat you up. They took pictures. They got it documented. Blah 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 blah. He goes to court. Judge gives him a bond. He's got a bond.
Mm-hmm.
You got a protection order. You can't go around her.
That don't mean shit.
I don't give a fuck if you gave me a protection order. I'm going over there to beat the fuck out of this bitch for calling the police on me today. As soon as I touch the ground, as soon as I get out of here. Immediately. So, you know, you have that fear in the back of your mind too. What if I send this nigga to jail and I piss this nigga off just enough to make him come back here and really fuck me up? What if I call the police and you know, like it's just, what if I call the police and they don't believe me? Because that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've heard people say dumb shit like and this is going back to what you said earlier. when you was talking about like parents enabling their son, like they come to the aid of their son and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard people say shit as dumb as, oh, they do this all the time. That's cool. That don't make it right. You know what I'm saying? They do this all the time, and
No, definitely not.
look, they do this all the time. Like, he don't mean her no harm. He ain't gonna hurt that girl. She got a black eye right now, man. Like, what the fuck? What are we talking about here? You feel me? Or they do this all the time. He don't mean her no harm. He ain't gonna hurt her. And this his house or whatever.
You know what I heard before? I told her to leave him alone.
Oh no.
You told her to leave him alone? What about, did you tell him to leave her the fuck alone?
Well, listen though.
What?
Hold on. We might be on to something there, because if a man's mother tell a woman, hey, leave my son alone.
My son ain't shit.
He ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
He hitting you. You don't need my son, because I know how some mothers, they got that hour. They be like, look, I know how the fuck my son is. Leave that motherfucker alone. Now, if she said that to him,
Yeah, I done heard that.
if that wasn't enough for you to dip, you know what I'm saying? Like that's her taking the action. She intervened.
But this is the thing. Is she really taking an action, or why do you have a son that you raised that has these idealistic things about abuse towards women? Like, where is that stemming from? Is that from the environment? Is that from your parenting?
Right.
Is that from something you demonstrated? Is that from it goes so much more deeper into that though. As a parent, you know, what role did you play that let your son have this type of thought process? Because not all men think like that. So you have to think that not all mothers or not all fathers are raising their sons like that. So
sometimes it's not a case of. Sometimes people come from households where they didn't see their parents,
Right.
or they didn't see their mom and them get beat. Whatever.
Absolutely.
Sometimes people just grow into who the fuck they is.
Yep. I mean, that's true. That's
They
true.
just grow into who the fuck they is. Or one thing you can't do,
Cultural
like,
norm.
yeah, you can't stop a motherfucker from a motherfucker gonna go outside. A motherfucker gonna go to school. How much
Right.
fucking shit how much bad behavior did we learn just from going to school alone? You know what I'm saying? I didn't see it in the household.
Music, TV, all that shit.
All that shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's glorified.
Yeah. But where does the mom go? Where does the mom go from there though? Okay, so say mom does tell you better leave him alone, and then you do leave him alone. Then he go to the next one. So every relationship he goes to, is mama gonna tell him you better leave him alone, or is at some point mama gonna say you need to go get some help? You have a pattern of abuse.
I mean, she might told him that. She might told him that, but that's what she's telling you. She's telling you, like, she might be telling herself all the time, be fucked up and go get some help. But she's saying in the meantime, in between time, you need to get the fuck up out of here, though.
No, I understand that, but it really it's really more to it than just saying to the victim what they should or shouldn't do in this situation. Well, I told you to leave him alone. Okay, listen, this is what y'all not understanding. Mom, you can tell me to leave him alone, right? But what you don't understand is I did leave him alone. Your son is stalking me every day. Your son is climbing up the side of my balcony and peeking through my windows. Your son is showing up to my job and acting up. I did leave your son alone. You know what I mean? It's more to it.
Yeah. But it's really not a whole lot that mama can do though.
Yeah, no, it's not on the mother. No, it's not on the mother. And I'm not saying that.
At the end of the day, it's like, if he's doing this to you, and let's say you call the police and whatever, and this happening. The only way that he gets off is because either he got a good ass lawyer or some shit, or you ain't showing up. I see that a lot where people don't show up to the court date. When I worked in the court, they'd be like, we're gonna continue this. We're gonna get a victim another chance to be here. And then the victim don't come the second time, this in Cleveland, and they throw the case out or whatever. And then next thing you know, it's 4 or 5 months later and they back on the docket again. We'd be like, well, what the fuck you ain't come for the first time? You know what I'm saying? So a person's mother, a person's father can only do so much, but it's on it, and I know it take a lot of strength that a person, a victim, and a person that's being abused, it take a lot of strength that you got to build up. You know what I'm saying? It take a lot of courage to go into the courtroom and to face the person that did this to you and to actually stand there in front of the open court, in front of the public and tell your story about what happened. I know it'd be embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? It make you feel shame. It make you feel like you did a disservice to all womankind by, you know what I'm saying, not been saying nothing and all that good stuff. You feel me? But at some point, you got to be like, listen, and this is what when I'm talking to young girls and my daughters, whoever, I always tell people this. It's like this. You got to get this mindset. Like, look, I love you, right? But I also love me too. And I love me just a little bit enough to not let me loving you hurt me. If you track what I was saying, you know what I'm saying? If you follow what I'm saying, I love you, but I love me just a little bit more.
Well, I do want to say this.
It take a lot to build up to that.
I do want to say this. Sometimes when it comes to abusive relationships, because a lot of people will be like, that's one thing that you will say to a woman, well, you got to love yourself. And, you know, sometimes the thing is, okay, I know y'all heard of like Stockholm syndrome and stuff like that, right? Where you could be brainwashed by your captor and fall in love with this person who kidnapped you and abused you. And, you know, you fall in love with them and you believe in everything that they say. Well, it's kind of the same type of tactics that abusers use towards their victims, use towards their girlfriends. So what you do is you find somebody and you build them up. You build them up to their highest point. And what you do is you pick away at them and you pick away at them over a period of time. And you start to play mind games where you make them question themselves. You make them question their self-worth. You make them question their capabilities. Am I intelligent enough? Am I you start questioning everything, and it's not so much that you don't love yourself, but you get so far away from your own thought, like your own thought process and how you think about yourself, and you start to relate with how they think and their ideals and how, you know, because that's how they want it to be. Now, every abuser is not on that scale, and maybe not that narcissistic or not don't have the skill set to think that far into it. No, but most of the time, it really is. It's a product of the abuse that you get into that. Because a lot of people will be like, well, why does she keep coming back? Why did you stay? Why didn't you, why you did? And it's like sometimes for me personally, when I think back to my own situation, I wish I could produce an answer. I wish I could tell y'all, why did I stay with somebody who did that to me? Why did I go have a second child? I already had one child and this man was abusing me, and I had a second child with this person. Why? Where was my mind at? And it's so crazy to say this, but sometimes I look back at the past and I really have like blanks, like blackouts. It's certain periods of that time that I can't even remember. It's certain periods of that time, certain memories, certain things that just don't even come to me. I don't know why. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know, I don't know how I got here. I don't know.
Yeah. Even with that.
I mean, that's the.
Go ahead, Ted.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say even with that, and I'm full aware. I'm full aware that it's a whole process that people that some people take a lot of people take their victims through. It's a whole mental process. You started off, it was good, it was lovely. Let your guard down. Now that he feel like he got you, you feel me? He started changing little stuff. I'm fully aware of that, but I feel like us as people outside of her body, you know what I'm saying? For us to see it, I can't just sit back and say nothing. So it's like every chance I get, I'm gonna try to speak life into you.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
If you could do any type of intervention in this world, you could speak life into a victim.
Sure.
Period.
For sure. And it's like maybe on the 99th time you would get what I'm saying to you.
Right.
But as long
sometimes you gotta plant the seeds.
For sure.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta plant the seeds. But one thing I want to say is, I understand how you were saying, like how some people is like methodical in their abuse, but sometimes it don't even be methodical in their abuse. Sometimes we just got to say it like it is. Sometimes These are just cultural norms. This is bullshit that we learn. This is bullshit that gets passed down from generation to generation. So some of these things you don't even, when you abuse it, you don't even understand that's what you're doing.
Right.
You don't even realize it. This is like, and the people who being abused, you getting this shit passed down from getting shit passed down to you. Like you learn.
Sometimes you don't even know you being abused.
For sure. Sometimes
you don't even recognize.
Relationship. You don't recognize it. I'm talking about both parties.
Right.
Sometimes you could be in a toxic relationship and both of y'all think y'all just cool.
Right.
I done been in them.
Right.
You know, like if you look back and tell me that I'm an abuser and you tell her she a victim, we gonna be like bullshit. So what the fuck y'all talking about?
Y'all need to mind your business.
Yeah, mind your business. But we mean it because we don't realize it. We don't realize we fucked up because this is our norm. Like this is what we grew up around. Like this is something like when you go outside, like this is the thing that you see every day, day in and day out. So you look at it. Sometimes you might go up and see abuse to a certain level to where you think what you got going on don't constitute nothing like that because you got a preconceived notion of what abuse looks like. Like okay, no, abuse looks like that. That looks like the shit my mama went through. This is what we got going on, ain't that? But in hindsight, it's always 2020. So you looking back like, oh shit, like you know what, we was messed up, or I was messed up, or whatever. So a lot of this stuff is behavior. A lot of this stuff is just cultural norms, and that's the things that we need to shift because we could go through and we could try to shift this stuff on an individual basis. You know, get this person some counseling, that person some counseling, but and as quick as we get these people counseling, as quick as we changing these people, other people is being born because it's still the cycle. We haven't done nothing to the cycle. The cycle of bullshit is still perpetuating. So until we start attack, and that's why in the last episode I was talking about, in your episode when I was talking about, we have to start doing this stuff. When people are younger, we got to start breaking these cycles when people are in middle school, high school, because like people are already in relationships. Matter of fact, in the book, what's the name of the book? Why does he do it, or how?
Why does he do that? Yep.
By how you pronounce his name?
Lundy Bancroft.
Lundy Bancroft. So like, if y'all listening, y'all go get the book. I'm telling you, me and my wife reading it right now. But even in there, he gave a statistic. And it was saying that, and it was a high percentage of women that are being abused start at like 15, 16 years old. But these kids are already in relationships. Like so, and like I said, the Danielle Project is cool. I feel like you know, teaching men about relationships and domestic violence issues in prison. But like you know, that's still being reactionary. We still trying to like walk them back. But we can also have a version that's preventative.
Preventative, absolutely.
If it's in high school, so like you might like love your mama, love your grandma, love your daddy, but they probably pass you down some bullshit a lot of times because we they probably pass you down some bullshit. So we gotta understand that we need to be breaking those cycles early. Cause like you might not want to admit it, but like you might not want to think your little girl is in a relationship or your little girl is in high school getting her arms grabbed or getting pushed up against lockers or getting called bitches and hoes. But yes, it's happening.
You have 1 minute remaining.
So and that type of thing happens. So like I said, I'm gonna end on this. We actually have to be preventative and not always reactionary. So we live in a culture to where we don't have to intervene with domestic violence when we see them on the streets because they're not happening. These disputes are not happening. So and I want to thank y'all again for coming out and hopefully y'all show up to work next week.
Sure. This disclaimer, hit my daughters and her father will react. I'm just saying.
Period.
Oh, for sure.
Period. I think that's a preventative measure too, though. If we got more fathers that say stuff like that ahead of time.
But
make it prominent that they have that support. Yeah.
That's cool. But the whole premise to this is take an action, man. Just take some type of action.
Take action, period. Do something. Even if it's 12. Like
right.
Got to. Take action.